Chapter 13. By the command of the Lord God. A prophet from Judah went to Bethel, and he arrived there when Jeroboam was standing before the altar to offer the sacrifice. Following the command of the Lord, the prophet spoke against the altar, saying, O altar, this is what the Lord God says. Descendant of David will be born whose name will be Josiah. On you, O altar, he will kill the priests who serve on the pagan altars and who offer sacrifices upon you. He will also burn human bones upon you. This altar will break apart, and the ashes that are on it will be scattered. This will be the sign that the Lord God has spoken through me. When Jeroboam heard this, he pointed at the prophet and commanded, Arrest this man. At that very moment, the king's arm became paralyzed, and he could not bring it back to its normal position. And suddenly the altar broke apart, and the ashes were scattered on the ground, just as the prophet, in the name of the Lord, had said would happen. Then the king said to the prophet, Please seek the favor of the Lord your God and pray for me, so that he may heal my arm. The prophet did as the king asked, and the king's arm was healed. Then the king said, Come with me to my house and eat something. I will reward you for what you have done. But the prophet replied, Even if you gave me half of your wealth, I would not go with you, nor eat or drink anything in this place. For the Lord God commanded me not to eat or drink anything, and not to return home by the same way I came. So he did not return by the same way he had come, but went back by another road. At that time there was an old prophet living in Bethel. His sons came and told him everything that the prophet from Judah had done that day in Bethel, and what he had said to King Jeroboam. Then the old prophet asked, Which way did he go? And they showed him the road. He told his sons to saddle the donkey for him, and they did so. Then the old prophet mounted and went after the prophet from Judah. He found him sitting under an oak tree and asked, Are you the prophet from Judah? Yes, I am, he replied. Then come with me to my house and eat something with me. But he answered, I cannot go with you to your house or stay there, and I will not eat or drink anything with you here, because the Lord God commanded me not to eat or drink anything and not to return by the same way I came. But the old prophet said, I also am a prophet like you. And the Lord God commanded an angel to tell me to bring you to my house and offer you my hospitality. But he was lying. So the prophet from Judah went with the old prophet to his house and ate a meal with him. While they were sitting at the table, the word of the Lord came to the old prophet. He cried out to the prophet from Judah, The Lord God says that you disobeyed and did not do what he commanded. Instead, you returned and ate a meal in the place where he had told you not to eat. Because of this, you will die, and your body will not be buried in the tomb of your family. After they had finished eating, the old prophet saddled the donkey for the prophet from Judah, and he went on his way. On the road, a lion met him and killed him. The body of the prophet was left lying on the road, and the lion and the donkey stood beside it. Some men passed by and saw the body lying on the road and the lion standing beside it. They went and reported it in Bethel. When the old prophet heard what had happened, said, That is the prophet who disobeyed the command of the Lord God. That is why the Lord sent a lion to attack him and kill him, just as he had said would happen. Then he said to his sons, Saddle the donkey for me. And they did so. The old prophet went and found the body of the prophet lying on the road, with the donkey and the lion standing beside it. The lion had not eaten the body, nor torn the donkey apart. The old prophet picked up the body, placed it on the donkey, and brought it back to Bethel to mourn over him and bury him. He laid him in his own tomb. Then he and his sons mourned over the body of the prophet and said, Oh, my brother, my brother. After the burial, the old prophet said to his sons, When I die, bury me in this tomb and place my body beside his. Because surely the word that he spoke by the command of the Lord God against the altar at Bethel and against the pagan places of worship in the cities of the region of Samaria will come to pass. Even so, King Jeroboam did not turn from his evil ways, but continued to appoint as priests men of all kinds to serve at the hilltop altars. The king would make priest of those altars anyone who wanted to be a priest. This sin of his brought disaster and complete destruction upon his family. Chapter 14. At that time, the son of King Jeroboam, whose name was Abijah, became sick. Jeroboam said to his wife, Put on a disguise, so that no one may recognize you, and go to Shiloh where Ahijah lives, the prophet who said that I would be king of this people. Take with you 10 loaves of bread, some cakes, and a jar of honey. Ask him what will happen to our son, what he will say to you." So she went to the house of Ahijah in Shiloh. Ahijah had become blind because of old age, but God had told him that the wife of Jeroboam was coming to ask about her son, who was sick. And God told Ahijah what he should say to her. Jeroboam's wife arrived, pretending to be another woman. But as she was coming through the door, Ahijah heard the sound of her footsteps and said, "Come in, wife of Jeroboam. Why are you pretending to be someone else? I have been sent to give you bad news. Go say to Jeroboam that the Lord, the God of Israel, says this: I chose you from among the people and made you ruler over my people Israel. I took the kingdom from the descendants of David and gave it to you. But you have not been like my servant David, who was faithful to me in everything, who obeyed my commandments and followed me with all his heart, doing what I approve. You have sinned much more than all those who were kings before you. You have rejected me and provoked me to anger by making idols and images of metal to worship. Because of this, I will bring disaster upon your family, and I will kill all your male descendants, both the young and the old. I will sweep away your family as one sweeps away dung. Those of your family who die in the cities will be eaten by dogs, and those who die in the fields will be eaten by vultures. I, the Lord, have spoken." And Ahijah also said this to the wife of Jeroboam. "Now, go back home. As soon as you step into the city, your son will die. All the people of Israel will mourn for him and will bury him. He will be the only one of Jeroboam's family who will be buried, because he is the only one in whom the Lord, the God of Israel, found something good. The Lord will raise up for himself a king over Israel who will cut off the family of Jeroboam. And this is already beginning to happen. The Lord will punish Israel, and they will shake with fear like green reeds. God will uproot Israel from this good land that he gave to their ancestors, and will scatter them beyond the Euphrates River, because they angered him by making Asherah poles to worship. God will abandon Israel because Jeroboam sinned and caused the people of Israel to sin." Then Jeroboam's wife arose and went to Tirzah. She stepped over the threshold of her house. The child died. And all Israel mourned for him and buried him, according to the word of the Lord, which he had spoken through his servant, the prophet Ahijah. All the other things that King Jeroboam did, how he fought in wars and how he ruled, are written in the history of the kings of Israel. Jeroboam was king for 22 years. He died and was buried, and his son Nadab became king in his place. Rehoboam, son of Solomon, was 41 years old when he became king of Judah. He ruled for 17 years in Jerusalem, the city that the Lord God had chosen from among all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. The mother of Rehoboam was named Naamah, and she was from the land of Ammon. The people of Judah sinned against the Lord. They provoked him to anger more than all their ancestors had done. They built high places for the worship of false gods, and on the hills and under every spreading tree they set up pillars for Baal and Asherah poles to worship. And there were also male and female prostitutes serving in those pagan places of worship. The people of Judah did all the detestable practices of the nations that the Lord God had driven out before the Israelites as they advanced into the land. In the 5th year of King Rehoboam, Shishak king of Egypt attacked Jerusalem. He took away all the treasures of the temple and of the palace, and also the gold shields that Solomon had made. To replace them, King Rehoboam made bronze shields and entrusted them to the officers in charge of guarding the gates of the palace. Whenever the king went to the temple, the guards carried the shields, and afterward they returned them to the guardroom. All the other things that King Rehoboam did are written in the history of the kings of Judah. Throughout all this time, Rehoboam and Jeroboam were at war with each other. Rehoboam died and was buried in the tombs of the kings in the city of David, and his son Abijah became king in his place. The mother of Rehoboam was named Naamah, and she was from the land of Ammon.